If the Democratic Party has a choice between being old and rotten or young and crazy, I'm going young and crazy every time. We can work on the crazy. Give me some young and crazy. Let's mix it up. We've got nothing to lose right now because we've been branded, and we were branded terribly and lost a crucial election because people thought we were old and tired and lacking any notion of any idea or any relevance to people's lives.
Your question about getting in young voters is a good opportunity to start bringing in the questions from our viewers. And there was one I was just looking for. Jeff wants to know what you make of the New York City mayor's race. Mamdani has excited a lot of younger voters. And of course, New York is sui generis. It's going to be its own thing. Right. But is there now some model that the rest of young Americans are looking at saying, who is this guy? And do we want some version of him?
I don't want to go too far. And we always have the caveat, even as Mike said, sometimes these off year elections that set up the next midterm do have meaning, and we're all going to be trying to read tea leaves. But I've come down on sort of one fundamental point to make about what happened in New York. If the Democratic Party has a choice between being old and rotten or young and crazy, I'm going young and crazy every time. We can work on the crazy. I don't know how he would govern. None of us know how he would govern, assuming he wins. As I do think when it comes to, let's not forget, for all the noise about Gaza and a variety of other statements he's made, the bottom line is he talked to New Yorkers about the fact that they can't afford to live there in a way that nobody else had. And certainly Andrew Cuomo wasn't, and certainly Eric Adams isn't. And that's what really broke through, I think, in many ways with the style of his campaign. And there is a lesson there. How he succeeds and what he does as mayor of New York, the Republicans, of course, think they have a nice battering ram here and something they can come back to time and time and time again. We'll see. But I don't think we should discount what happened. And I also think, again, if the Democratic Party is going to be whatever it's going to be in the future, it's going to be more young than old. And we have to make that shift. It's going to be hard. It's going to be painful, but it has to start happening.
Mike, what about Mamdani as some kind of...
I'm obsessed with it. I was in New York last week. Some angry donors, we supervised a poll. And they're all, the current kind of equation of the Manhattan, world was, well, wait a minute. The Jews are going to vote against Mamdani because of what he said. The blacks are going to stick with Mayor Adams. And the Cuomo Democrats are all going to go to Adams, so Adams can have a comeback. Totally untrue. Adams is currently in the race third among African Americans. He is behind. Mamdani is winning the Jewish vote, particularly Jews under 45. The state of Israel and the government of Israel both test net negative. So talk about standing by Israel. You are losing votes in New York. Mamdani is a huge political talent, and both Cuomo, who literally in a three-way race is only getting 6% of Jewish voters under 45, is hated, and Adams is hated. So get ready for Mamdani. The race could tighten a little, but Mamdani has rocket fuel, and he won on two things: change, cultural change, instead of old lizard politicians or failed making deals with Trump corrupt people, fresh, new affordability. Groceries cost minibar prices. Apartments are impossible to find. You got a whole bunch of people, they still have college debt, even in their 40s, who can't live in New York. They can't afford to. So it was a perfect storm, and his talent turned it into a tornado that is, I would say, about 90% likely to prevail.
So, but Mike, does any part of that scale up for Democrats?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would be worried if I were a Democrat that some of that young, blow up the system, politics doesn't work, energy could turn into a real AOC campaign. If I were in the Jewish community, I'd be very worried about younger Democrats because the old deal of Israel is gone. That said, there are limits. Urban constituencies in a dense city are different than the suburban constituencies that win or lose presidential elections. But the affordability stuff, the anti-establishment stuff, and the generational stuff all has power. You turn on the Democratic, everybody's 90. Schumer, even Pelosi, who's on the sidelines, but, she's getting up there. So it looks like a party of ineffectual senior citizens doing politics as usual. So there are real warning signs here for the Dems, and the left is now invigorated.
So the warning signs, Paul, is there anything positive in them? Is there anything that from Mamdani can be taken out to swing states, to young Democrats there to say, this isn't what we want, but this is the kind of energy
Right.
that we can apply to our message?
I think generational change, anti-establishment, young, different, with it, all of that are pluses. There are ideological pieces of this that apply to New York that may or may not in swing states or in the suburbs, as Mike just indicated. So it's less the prescriptions or even some of the, we'll see, the actions he takes, presuming that he gets elected and what he does as mayor of New York. And I think some of them will, even though New York is as visible a place as it is, some of them will recede to the sidelines as we get into a national campaign next year. But certainly the notion of, I mean, that's what I said at the beginning. Give me some young and crazy. Let's mix it up. We've got nothing to lose right now because we've been branded, and we were branded terribly and lost a crucial election because people thought we were old and tired and lacking any notion of any idea or any relevance to people's lives.
Next week, I'll be talking to Bill Kristol, who's editor of The Bulwark, and also Never Trumper, about the state of democracy, the state of the nation, and where Republicans and people like him, and in fact all Americans, can take their anger, their concerns, and their hopes in this upcoming midterm and in the years to come. Thank you for joining us. You can see more information on the website. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your viewership. I'm Patt Morrison. Good night.